Hi, my name is Financial Coach Ruthie, and I'm a registered nurse in Alberta. Today, I want to provide some financial literacy around our LAPP pension fund. So some people find this information really confusing or super boring, so I just want to encourage you and remind you that this is your money and this is your future, so just tape your eyelids open and try and absorb this information one bite at a time. I've divided this video into 3 different parts, so you can go ahead and skip to the part that you're most interested in. If you would like more information around other financial topics, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Financial Coach Ruthie. Thank you and take a look. Hello and welcome to part 1 of my financial literacy series about LAPP, Local Authorities Pension Plan. So today, if your biggest hurdle is logging into LAPP, I totally get it. I had rarely logged in before until recently, and I was really pleasantly surprised that they've done a lot to improve this website. So it's easier to navigate and the information is more clear. There's more videos as well that you can look at. So don't panic if you can't remember your registration number, because when you go to log in, you can just register and all you need is your birthday, your SIN number, and your name, and that's it. So pretty easy. So next is, I'm just going to go over what is on this website. So they have your plan has value. It's kind of got the basics of your pension plan, whether it's for life, whether it's predictable, employer contributions, cost of living increases, early retirement benefits, and I would recommend having a look at this Mythbusters section here. They have some kind of pros and cons, or myths and facts, I guess you would say, about the pension, and a little video that goes with it as well. So your plan is in good hands, so you can have a look at the sponsor board, the vision, mission statement, governance, and the partners as well. And just take note that our president of UNA, Heather Smith, is also in the sponsor board as well. Your pension is secure, so they have a look at, you can have a look and see what the diversification mix is for your investments and your asset mix as well. Any of that type of thing that you might be interested in looking at the funding or risk management. Next, they have your life with LAPP. So this one is, you have more specific information about how it pertains to you as an individual. And you have to remember that all this information is awesome and great to read, but you can also phone in and have a one-on-one phone session and ask more specific questions about your plan. They do have a disclaimer that they recommend seeing a financial planner or financial advisor, because they don't do that for you. So this pension is only one piece of your retirement puzzle, so you're going to want to look at the entire puzzle instead. And they don't have like all the details to your specific financial situation either. And then your LAPP library is probably the most useful information of the whole thing. It has some videos that you can watch as well over here, and it's got some member education tools and checklists. Spoiler alert, for part 2, we're going to look at the at a glance and member handbook, and then in part 3, we're going to dive into more of the pension estimator and CPP OAS calculator. So first, number 1 thing that you need to do is log in. So now go and be intentional. Hello everyone, and welcome to part 2 of a 3-part series about LAPP. In this part 2 video, we're going to hit the highlight details for my fellow healthcare workers enrolled in the LAPP pension plan. So the first thing to note is that our pension LAPP is a defined benefit pension plan. So that means that the pension is paid to you each month and can be estimated in advance and paid to you for life. So that's awesome. Versus some people have a defined contribution plan, so that's other employers, and more employers are moving towards this defined contribution plan instead. So in that type of contribution plan, you know in advance how much you're going to pay towards your pension, but you don't know how much you're going to receive in the end. That one is based more on how the investments do. Ours is just guaranteed for life and not based on how the investments do. So it provides a predictable income for you. You can have a look at the pension estimator, which we'll do in part 3, to kind of have an idea of how much you're going to receive for a guaranteed pension for life. Your employer contributions match the employees, but an extra 1% on top of that throughout your employment. We'll look more into that later on as well. So one of the good things about the LAPP pension plan is that it is indexed towards inflation, so that is good. That means that if the price of things in Alberta goes up by 2%, they will match the 60% of that 2%. So your monthly amount from your pension would go up by 1.2% if the cost of inflation was 2%. There's some early retirement benefits that you can look into. You can retire as early as 55 if you have 30 years of service and your age is also 55 as well. So that gives you that 85 factor. So next we'll look at your pension under the LAPP library. There's member education and the at a glance. So on here it talks about some details about whether your pension is for life, predictable, stable and secure. It grows each year to protect against inflation. So we already knew that part of it. We can look more into detail about whether you qualify or whether it's mandatory for you to be in the pension. So if you're over 30 hours a week and in a continuous position, then it's mandatory. Now between that 14 and 30, it looks like you have to ask your employer and see what the policy is. And less than 14, then you're not able to be a member of LAPP. So what does it mean to be invested? To be vested? Becoming vested in LAPP means that you qualify for a monthly lifetime pension at retirement. So you're vested if you have 2 or more years of membership or service, unless you are 65 years old. If you are 65 years old, then it's a little bit different. You don't need that 2 years. Now we talked about the employer contributing more than 1% more than the employee. So the employee is contributing 8.39% up to $58,700. After that, it is 12.84% over $58,700. So that's good to know. And then you can see the employer is matching that plus 1% more in each set of salary amounts. So another also good thing to look at in more detail is to go back to your LAPP library, member education, and you can have a look at the handbook. Now in the handbook, there's far more details in there about anything you would have questions about. You can have a look there. When can you retirement? How is it calculated? Whether you death before retirement, that sort of thing. So a lot more details in this section. So you can have a look, and that's it for part 2. Hello, and welcome to part 3. You made it this far, and I'm really excited to show you the LAPP Pension Estimator and CPP OAS Calculator. So to find this, you go up to LAPP Library, go to Member Tools and Pension Estimator. Now we have to agree to the terms, saying yes, this is just an estimate. I'm going to make myself super young with my birthday. I'm going to say 1990. And do you have a pension partner? Yes. I'm going to put in the same birthday. I'm going to say part-time and go with my 0.68 FTE that I have now. I mean, this is going to vary depending on what you change to. How many years of pensionable service? I have 9.36 because I looked that up. And estimating my highest average salary, I'm going to go with 100,000 right now. And then an estimate. So they give you a little bit of a breakdown about joint lifetime pensions with your partner. So monthly lifetime to member, $5,153 for 5 years, and survivor amount if you pass away up to 5 years. So this is something to look into for yourself. If you pass away, whether your spouse or partner would get a guaranteed amount of pension money as well afterwards. So there's different amounts of years as well for the single lifetime option. So you can play around with this pendulum here. You can look at how much you would get if you were 55 years old versus if you were 71 at retirement here. So as you can see, 4,500 for a single person or 4,100 for a person with a spouse or partner. And then you can also swing this all the way to the other side at 71 years old, and you can see that your amount would also go up because you're working for longer as well. So that's that. And you can also look at the details of this and what that means for each joint lifetime guaranteed at 5 years, or joint lifetime reduced by 1/3 guaranteed at 5 years. So I won't go into those details. I'll let you look that up for yourself. But it will go to the LAPP library again, go to Member Tools and the CPP OAS calculator here. So what that shows is it goes here, and we're going to go with the same birthday, September 1990, female. Our source of current annual income is that $100,000 again. And then it gives you, it just kind of fills this in for you of what you kind of think your retirement income is going to be. And they've given us a range from $45,000 to $77,000, and they filled in 61, so I'll just go with that. Life expectancy, 88, sure, we'll go with that. Are we on the Canada pension plan or Quebec one? We're going to pick Canada. Do you have a Canada pension plan statement? No, I don't know what that estimate would be for my retirement, but they fill it in for you anyway and go with an average of approximately $707 per month. At what age do you plan to receive your CPP benefit? Let's go with 65. And do you plan on working after you receive it? No. Let's go to the next slide. And are you a member of an employer pension plan? Yes. And we can look at what type of pension plan. So we went over that in part 2, whether it's a defined benefit plan, contribution plan, pooled, deferred, or group RRSPs. What is your estimated annual pension from your defined benefit plan? Well, on average, it looked like we were getting $5,000 a month. So times 12, that'd be $60,000. So let's go with that for kind of a middle of the road number there. And what age do you plan to receive your pension? 65. And is your pension indexed to inflation? Yes. So you can also play around with these numbers and use different ages as well. Do you have any retirement savings plans or tax-free savings accounts? For this scenario, we're just going to say no, that we don't have any savings at all. And do you have any other income? No. Do you expect to be living in Canada when you retire? That's a good age, or a good question. And yes, and will you have lived in Canada for at least 40 years between age 18 and 65? Yes, so that's something to think about if you haven't and you immigrated to Canada. At what age do you plan to receive your OAS? We'll say 65. And then the guaranteed income supplement, it gives you some information about that. All right, so we have a general summary of our information that we've entered here. So our goal originally was $61,000, and with our CPP and our LAPP income, that comes to a total of $75,000, including our other amount as well. This includes our OAS pension as well. So $7,000, $60,000, and $8,000 combined equals $75,000. So we have an excess of $14,000, which is pretty impressive considering we didn't enter any RRSPs or TFSAs or any other additional savings. So what I would like you to do is go ahead and play around with this calculator yourself and take a look.